This is a video by Richmond. Today we are working on a Saturn S series. This happens to be a 1998 model. And what we're doing today is we are replacing the sway bar bushing on the lower control arm. First thing we need to do is get the vehicle up in the air, support it on jack stands, and take both front wheels off. Next thing we need to do is to take off this 24mm nut on the end of the sway bar. Next thing we need to do is take the cotter pin out of the lower ball joint, and we need to loosen that nut. You can see I've got penetrating oil on it. And we'll go just about to the end, and now we're going to strike the knuckle to loosen up that ball joint. Get a pipe in here with some downward force against the subframe control arm, and we'll strike the knuckle. Now we can take the nut out. Okay. Next thing we did, we put a winch underneath here with one end of the hook over in the hole on the opposite side of the subframe, and then over here we have a chain wrapped around the sway bar. Now the reason we got the winch on there, we want to center the sway bar in the bush here, take the load off the control arm, and that will help us to remove it. Just like that. Next part is the fun bit, getting the bolt out of the control arm where it goes through the subframe. Now, inside the bushing in the control arm, there is a metal sleeve in there, and the bolt likes to rust in the sleeve, and that's where everyone has their problem getting this bolt out. A lot of people will go in there and hacksaw it out, and this is what you might have to do if you can't get the bolt out. Now, I've had some success with a air chisel bringing the nut out to the end of the bolt and driving the bolt through. The vibration tends to break the rust. So, on this one right here, we've already had it out a couple years ago. We greased up the bolt, so let's see how she goes. 15mm on the non-nut side, and the nut side is 18mm. I think she's moving. Oh yeah, look at that. See how the bolt is moving? That's what you want to see. If you can't move that bolt like that, you're in a heap of trouble. Alright, we're going to get the rest of that nut out now. Take that nut off and take that bolt out. Alright, we just took the nut off, and we should be able to remove our bolt. Look at that. Don't you wish they all came out that easy? There it is. So putting that grease on there a couple years ago really did the trick. Now what we did down here, see this blue piece that you can see right here? It's a strap. We strapped it around the strut right here and moved it back just a little bit to give us some room. And so now we can wiggle that control arm out just like that. There it is. Now at this point, a lot of you can just replace the whole control arm if you wish. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to replace that bushing right now. I'm all up for a challenge. Now to get that bushing out, we should be able to just use a screwdriver. What about a couple screwdrivers? Okay, there it is. Where'd you go? Now to help to get our new bushing in, we'll use a little silicone grease. Hopefully make it slide a little easier. Or you can go and get a Moog split bushing, which is a little easier. Alright, let's work that bushing in. There it is. A little bit of a stinker, but we got it. Alright, let's take our control arm with our new bush. Oh wow, look at that. Pretty nice. Alright, let's put the bolt in. Nice. So, from here, all we have to do, put our nut on, put the steering knuckle back on, and we'll have done one side. So that's all there is to installing a control arm sway bar bushing on your Saturn S series.